From dictionary deep to Kaiser pineapples might each guess brings the magic for just one night.
I love a buttered biscuit.
Good evening.
Good evening, Doc.
Hey, everybody.
It's probably one of the longest intros I've ever done.
Is it?
Yeah, pretty much. So, does everything sound good? No echoes on my part?
Sounds good to me.
Echo.
No, it sounds
echo.
good.
Echo.
That sound okay?
You
Yes,
sound
it does.
fabulous.
You always sound
Sound
good.
really
That's
good.
fabulous.
You sound so good.
Mm.
It's just
I love it. Writer chick, don't worry.
And of
We will
course,
have.
Diva as always.
well, thank you, Yamaha. I appreciate that. I had to try to jerry rig my microphone so it would
Oh,
stand.
yeah. Oh, I noticed it. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
on boom.
I pulled the boom down because I was doing an art stream with with Valhalla, and the mic was I couldn't there wasn't enough room, so I had to pull it down, and now I'm using my Old Faithful right here. Yeah,
It's,
but I lost the nuts, so I had to find new nuts.
well, no.
That's what happens when you get denutted. Things just kind of fall apart.
They do
Yeah.
fall apart,
What do you do at that point?
you know.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, we have TJ Finn
Valhalla.
is in the house.
His ears are burning.
They were burning. Yeah.
Did somebody say his name?
Mhm.
Hey, there he is.
Yeah.
Go
Hey.
Daddy.
We just like to get your input on this because your input on this means a whole lot, Valhalla. I mean, what can you say?
Yeah.
Just other than he just comes in here and kicks the door open.
Storm.
Never late, always on time. My time.
Yeah, your time.
Your time is perfect.
My time is
I think
picky.
your name should be Diva. That's
Yeah.
what I think, yeah.
Should be.
Oh, if you
You're,
only knew. If you only knew.
Takes him hours to get his hair done in the morning.
Uh-huh. Yeah, both seconds.
Shoot. I forgot to cut your hair, Volstorm.
Fabulously late.
No.
That's okay. I'm getting to the point I need a little bit of a trim too, so that's going to be happening soon.
Oopsie.
I've
Yeah,
got a
both
razor.
mine, too.
I don't think I've cut my hair since Dollywood. Yeah.
haven't.
It's been a
Yeah,
while.
right before Dollywood, that was when I got my last haircut. Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Oops.
Oopsie.
Oh, well. What are we doing? What's going on? What's happening?
We are doing TJ Finn's book.
Yes.
It is. Let me pull it up here real quick. This is the name of the book right here. TJ Finn. It's Dangerous Magic. It's a Wolfpack Creek book here. It's,
Six Pack Creek? What did you say?
like six pack. I'm holding my own. I mean, he is in his boxer briefs. I'm telling you right there.
Hey, Valhalla, what are those
dick root
things?
and everything. Good
The
lord.
airbrushing is incredible.
Yeah,
No. Well, we already started this the other day.
you did.
So
Where
basic-
were we? Were
well,
we not here?
I think you were here.
Very
last
briefly
She
at
was
the
here.
end of last.
Oh, yeah,
She
yeah,
forgot.
Sorry, I forgot.
Well, I'll get the first part of this out of the way, so everybody's caught up with where we were at.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. If we can get this one to shift, his fur will be worth thousands. Just have to remember not to damage the fur.
Now I remember.
What the? Claire shot up from her hiding place behind the bushes to look out into the empty meadow. The words had been loud and cleared in her mind as she knelt in the brush, waiting to see if any deer or animals would come into the meadow so she could take their pictures. Sure, that's what it was. If it was one of her favorite things to do since moving from New Mexico to her little remote cabin in the Rocky Mountains. Plus, it brought a little extra money that she put away for a rainy day. So she could buy those little sex toys. She could sit in the same spot for hours watching the animals coming and going. But today seemed like a slow day in the wild kingdom. She was about to pack up her trash from lunch and head home when she heard the voice in her head. Since there was never anyone around here, she had set up the walls in her mind to block out the voices like she did when she went into town. Here she could relax and keep those walls down. It was exhausting to keep her defenses up all the time. Suddenly, a man burst through the trees as if hellhounds were hot on his heels to drag him back down to hell, and Claire jumped back into the bushes before two men followed him into the meadow, opening herself up like a warm flower. She found that she couldn't read the minds of the first man, but the other two were coming through to her loud and clear. Surely she hadn't heard kill him. But a moment after registering those words, the two men stopped, raised their guns. Her hands rushed to her mouth to stifle the involuntary squeak as the sound of gunshots echoed through the valley. She watched the running man fall forward. As she dropped to her knees, her legs refusing to hold up any longer, her body was shaking, just like a orgasm, and her heart pounded so hard in her chest it stole her breath. What had just... The silence after the gunshots was just as deafening to her, but curiosity won out over reason, and she slowly stood up to see the two men making their way to the fallen man, still holding their guns out in case he stood up. The word "Jap" echoed in her mind. Her eyes moved to the area where he had fallen. The shooters were slowly approaching. All their thoughts bombarded her. They whispered to each other.
Now I remember. Yeah.
Now you remember.
Now I remember.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get a new microphone?
Yes.
Who?
Does it sound better or worse?
Yeah, it's very sensitive.
It's very pop. It's a little poppy.
A little
Like-
Well,
too
you're hearing-
sensitive.
Yeah.
Hearing some pops in there? All right.
Yeah, a little
Poppy.
bit.
That,
It's a little poppy.
Poppy.
you know,
Ooh, poppy.
Hi, Poppy.
Hi, poppy.
Oh, no
Caramba.
wonder somebody turned my microphone all the way up.
Oh,
Is that
somebody.
better?
Somebody.
did.
Yeah, like who
That's-
comes in that office, Shizzy? Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Somebody
no,
did it.
Is it turned down now? Is it better?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Try to
sounds
whisper.
fine to me.
We'll find
Yeah.
out.
Whisper.
A little whisper.
yeah.
Yeah.
Better.
Let's
Whisper
see.
to Gutters.
Butters likes to be whispered to.
Well, I think last time I was on someone's channel, they turned it up and it shows up in it's being turned up also.
Oh,
Oh.
Alrighty.
that's the one we're running with. Okay.
They were quibbling over who they would get to kill the man, and without a second thought, she stood and burst through the bushes, flicking her hand at the two men and creating a barrier between the shooters and herself. It wasn't really a barrier, but more like camouflage that kept her hidden as she ran to where she'd seen the man fall. Profanity and frustration echoed in her mind from the shooters as she literally skidded to a stop when she saw not a man, but a beautiful silvery blue wolf, blood matting the fur on his side. The wolf lifted his head and let out a warning growl as she approached him. Crap, that's the last thing I need is to be eaten by a wounded animal, Claire thought as she dropped to her knees beside the wolf, careful not to get too close. Shh, I'm here to help you, boy. She inched her hand toward the wolf's head, then jerked it back when the wolf's lips curled back, exposing his teeth as he snarled. I swear to God we hit him. He should be right around here. The men were moving closer, and she hoped the camouflage held. We'd better find him and get back to Mr. James before he dies, or it's our asses on the line. Did you see him when he shifted back there? Why the idiot shifted back is beyond me. The voices faded as they walked past Claire and the wolf and headed into the forest at the other end of the meadow. Claire tried one more time to reach out and touch the wolf who lay there. His ears flat, pointing outward, slightly forward, and his forehead furrowed, brows raised. His eyes were like slits, and peering at her, his muzzle twitched as he growled again and made a feeble attempt to snap at her. She jerked her hand back and barely kept herself from backing away. It's okay, boy, I can help you. At least she hoped she could. She pushed out some warm, healing magic, and the wolf whimpered and dropped his head. Claire looked around and didn't see the shooters, but they could come back. Standing, she put her hands on her hips and sighed. All right, Wolfie, I need to get you out of here, but how? She chewed her lip for a moment, going over her options. She'd seen people stranded in the wilderness build a sled to drag wounded people behind them. But who was she kidding? She was far from being a Boy Scout. She was so far from being a Boy Scout it wasn't funny. And she probably didn't have enough time to do it. Are we stopping there?
Yeah, I'll take over.
Okay.
Yeah. Looking down at the wolf, who now seemed to be calmer, Claire took a deep breath, flicked her wrist, and a large silver wolf turned into a Shih Tzu. Claire grinned. She took off the light jacket she was wearing and wrapped it around the dog. Speaking to him, trying to soothe him as she picked him up, he whined and struggled in her arms. So she whispered a few words, putting him into a warm, magical sleep. Waving her hand, the camouflage she had created disappeared as she made her way out of the meadow along the path that led her to her cabin. Hopefully the men wouldn't know she had been there and wouldn't find the rough path she had worn down during her day's hikes in the meadow. Looking up at the sky, she saw dark gray clouds moving in and smelled the moisture on the air. The weatherman on the radio had said that they were in for a big snowstorm, possibly a blizzard. The upside was that the shooters wouldn't find them. The downside, she would be stuck in her little cabin with a wounded wolf. If the wolf shifted again, a man she didn't know who had been running from someone. Who knew what kind of person he was? But she didn't have a choice. She wasn't about to leave him, with those two men, and he'd freeze to death if he couldn't get any other help. Her cabin had finally come into sight as she hurried inside, laying the little dog on the rug next to the empty fireplace. It whined in its sleep, and she ran a soothing hand over its fur. It's okay. I'll help you and get you changed back into a wolf so you can heal. Straightening, she moved around her cabin quickly, getting blankets and the first aid kit she kept under the kitchen sink. She waited. She wanted to start a fire, but she feared that whomever was after her guest would find them. Well, she had other ways of warming up the place. With a flick of her wrist, heat spread throughout the cabin. Once it started snowing, she'd start a big fire, but this would do for now. The first snowflakes were falling by the time she finished cleaning the Shih Tzu's wound. She was thankful that the bullet seemed to have entered its side, coming out close to its stomach, which was good because she really had no idea how to get a bullet out of a wolf, or a man for that matter. Unlike her mother and sister, Claire only knew some basic healing magic, like being able to send out warm, comforting thoughts to help others sleep.
However, she had mixed up some healing herbs to make a salve that her mother had taught her while the wolf Shih Tzu lay sleeping. She applied the salve to the wound, then loosely wrapped it to help the healing process. She had chosen not to change him back into the wolf for now, not really knowing how he might react to her. All his growling and snapping at her made her overly cautious. She would hate to fall asleep and wake up in the middle of a wolf attack. Besides, the little Shih Tzu was completely adorable and comfortable for now. Her spell would eventually wear off. She just hoped she was awake when it did. Claire tucked blankets around the little dog and went to change into something warm and comfy before making herself a little dinner. Now, she slowly rocked in her chair, gently stroking the little dog's head, careful not to touch the wound. The snowstorm was finally raging outside, the winds whipping the snow around her cabin, enclosing them in a white cocoon. Looking down at the little dog, she wondered about the man he would eventually shift back into. Who was he? She hadn't gotten a good look at his face when he was running, but she had noticed how broad his chest was and how big his upper arms seemed to be. The most curious thing about him, though, wasn't the fact that he was a wolf shifter. Claire knew several back home. No. The most curious thing was that she hadn't been able to pick up any of his thoughts. Why couldn't she hear him? Like her three sisters, she had inherited her strong magical gifts from her parents, but she had also inherited a gift from their grandmother. Claire was telepathic and only had to be in the vicinity to be able to hear the thoughts of others. It was the reason she was in Colorado instead of her hometown of Roswell with her family. She had been trying all her life to build her walls and defenses so she could keep out most of the voices she heard. However, like her grandmother, she couldn't seem to keep them in place.
Teresa, I'm sorry. Not long after her mother was born, her grandmother disappeared, leaving the family behind to get away from all the voices. This is why you need to soundproof the room. No one really knew where her grandmother was now. They had received letters from her throughout the years, but none in the last few. Everyone assumed she died, which made Claire sad because she wanted to meet and talk with her. But like her grandmother, Claire had finally packed up her things and moved out of Roswell, much like I had to the remote cabin she now lived in, keeping herself isolated from a grand jury. I'm sorry. Only making trips to Lake City where she absolutely needed supplies. I think we all know the supplies she needed.
Oh, dear God.
She was thankful for the silence and the peace, but she missed her family and friends. Sometimes the sacrifice did not seem worth it. Rubbing the little dog's ears, she wondered again why she hadn't been able to hear him. I found that taking the gag off works. What was so special about him that he could block her out even while unconscious? Claire yawned and lay her head against the chair. She'd have to figure that out later. Now, with the fire warming her and the gentle rocking of the chair, she was fighting to keep her eyes open. Tomorrow, hopefully, once the spell wore off with the wolf Shih Tzu shifted back to the man, she'd have her answers and another case of pudding pops.
Oh my.
And that is why rohypnol dosing is very important.
I told Teresa I would do this, so I have
You
permission.
told
I don't
Teresa
know,
to
every
do this?
single one of us
Okay.
was trying to
we
give
would
this.
butcher it.
Oh my gosh.
We were all trying to give this its proper gravitas, and then
Yeah.
suddenly, here comes Mr.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
Well, at least I didn't have to be the first asshole.
What kind of a show do y'all think this is? Come on.
Oh
Steamy
my.
romance novels read in the voice of Bill Cosby. You're hired.
No. No. This can't be right. This can't
Yes,
be right.
it is. Yes, it is.
Can't be right.
Welcome to Sunday Spice, ladies and gentlemen, in case any of you have forgotten.
Oh, gosh. I'm going to keep breathing in my section.
Hey.
Hey!
Well, she lady.
lady?
Hello, everybody.
Hey.
How you feeling?
How's it going?
I'm doing good, thank you. I'm doing
Good.
very good. I'm
Fantastic.
I've recovered. Two back injuries and a tailbone injury and a bruised bum.
Oh,
Oh, no.
What?
What did you do?
Kind of cracked it when I was going in a scooter at my daughter's event.
Oh,
you
no.
broke your coccyx?
Cracked it down the bottom, my tailbone.
Oh, that's
And-
so painful. That's so painful.
So I'm kind of sat on a rubber ring.
Yeah, they gave you a donut.
Yeah, it's always the
that's
hardest
about-
part about
that's about
that
all
is
you
like
can
you
do.
You're going to the office. You have to sit on the little donut, and just like
Mhm.
it's like I broke my coccyx. It's not
Yeah.
it's not hemorrhoids. I swear.
It's cracked, and I was already going to physio for it, and I hit it again.
Oh,
So that was the first thing. So I
Oh.
was really, I was not. Today's my first day sitting. I broke my ass, but yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Yeah.
This is the first day I've been able to
Oh,
sit
you broke
upright.
your ass. Here's a
and
donut.
it has a new crack in it. I think
And
that.
it hasn't. Yes, it does.
You got two
Oh my
cracks.
gosh, I didn't think of that.
That's impressive.
It is impressive.
Cracks.
2 cracks.
What is she morphing into? It's got two cracks.
What kind of alien is this?
You had my curiosity. Now you have my attention.
And then I go, and because I'm in my wheelchair, you're transferred in the bathroom, not to go into too much details.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
And I fell between the radiator and the wheelchair, went flat down.
Oh,
So
no.
my blood pressure plummeted, and I went down. So I bruised all my ass,
Oh,
my ribs. So, but
Oh.
hey, everybody got problems to deal with. We all got different things going on. Mine's
Mom.
just
Holy
been
cow.
accidents.
Not many of us have a doubly cracked ass, though.
Well, I was never doubly blessed. I wasn't born with that blessing when you get older. So a double cracked ass. I know, why not? Yeah. Cheers, get this kill. That's it now. Hello, Shizzy, my darling. I've literally just had that like.
Mm. Mm.
I can't hear you, Shiz.
Oh, yeah.
He's turned himself off. Can you hear yourself,
Because,
sir?
quote unquote, somebody messed with
Did I
his
make
mic.
Yeah,
you
somebody
deaf?
messed with his mic. That's what he's going to say.
Boomer.
Somebody.
Did I make him deaf? Is all
I
the
don't know, because he
jokes.
thinks he's talking to us, but
Yeah, I
No
keep
Oh,
one
bless
can
him.
hear you.
He
No
could've-
one can hear you.
you're
Should we just like nod?
Whoa,
Now we have
no,
it.
now
Whoa.
there's 16 of us.
Echo.
Your headphones aren't plugged in.
Echo.
Yeah. There you go. Hello. 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 Yeah.
Hello?
I can't hear myself now.
Yeah.
Can
It's
you
going.
Okay, we're good.
Anybody in there? It's not if you can hear me. Is there anyone home?
Well, now we can make up our own stories. There once was a man from Nantucket.
Wait, look at stop you right there. I have become comfortably numb.
It was the first day of the author's
Comfortably
journey.
numb. Oh, it's a great Pink Floyd.
That is.
Fab.
Uh,
People don't like Pink Floyd, and you know,
And those people are losers. Sorry.
Mm.
Yes, they
it's
are.
timeless. It's timeless, man.
that guitar solo in
Oh.
that song that lives rent free in my head.
It's fantastic. Fantastic.
Shizzy, did you turn it off and turn it back on?
Hello, IT. If you tried turning it off and on again.
I'm
At least his
writing
camera's
as we
working.
speak.
I see him moving.
I know.
Oh, okay.
Teresa,
1
didn't
minute.
you just
1
write
minute.
this story? Are you writing another one already, or are you just adding on to this?
Of course
one?
she is.
Oh my goodness.
She's not George R.R. Martin. She can actually write a
Good
book and
Lord.
complete it.
She's as bad as Gosney is.
I
I just wrote a
well.
book. Oh my God, I got to write another one.
He has boundless energy. Boundless.
Yeah.
I wish I knew what he tapped into because I need some of that. I need some of that. I've got about 20 book ideas, but
Yeah.
none of them have, well, a few have been published, but they're tiny. They're little.
Yeah.
You don't need
I've
to
so
write.
far
You
written
just
Doing
need to
all that,
read.
yeah.
Short
Doing all that
story.
research and everything. I mean, it can be fun, but Jesus.
Yeah, I
On
wrote
this
one
next
short
story,
story in
it's,
college, and then I've got a couple that I've started and gotten pretty far on, but I just kind of stalled out. I probably need to go back and revisit them.
We're waiting for Kathleen Kennedy to get fired. We get it.
Yeah.
Well, with that's a whole other story. Those are things that happen. Okay, these are things that I started writing like long before Star Wars was even sold.
Let me get.
Let me check it out, okay. But another game that makes movement and make it more fucking lame.
Make it more lame.
Well,
Oh my goodness.
I've been
Well,
sat
yes.
there since like half 12. It's half 1 now. I was sat there thinking, has he forgotten me or just didn't need me this weekend? Or
Oh.
no, he's gone silent. Here, have it up yours, mister.
Mm-hmm.
Teresa, in our
Treat me.
defense, we're usually a lot more put together than this, but Shizzy has all the reading materials, so we can do
Yeah.
nothing about it.
We can't. We can make up, like Yamaha said, we'll just make up some
Oh,
stories of our
I'm
own.
actually. Oh, she's doing
Not the
serious.
Nantucket
Okay.
story.
No.
And not Hickory
Oh.
Dickory Dock either.
Oh,
Not a
oh,
Hickory
he's
Dickory
Hey,
Dock.
there he is.
I don't have any audio.
Did you come back?
There you
there
are.
No,
We hear
Hey.
you.
We hear you.
Do
You
you
hear
hear
me?
me?
Oh man.
Oh.
They just
Oh.
So close, bro. So
we
close.
hear you. Okay. Come back.
Come back,
Hello, Moscow.
Jack.
It's all right.
Jack.
Teresa, if it's any consolation, I like it so far.
Yeah.
Is it
it's
echoing?
good. No.
No,
it's
you're
not.
not.
No.
No.
Can you hear us?
Yes.
Can you
Good.
hear us?
Yay.
Me?
Do you hear me?
Can you hear me now, Shiz?
Yes, I can hear you.
I couldn't hear anything you said since I've been here.
Oh. I know.
Eh,
Are you
That
okay?
happens.
You good,
Yeah.
man?
I think my computer tried to do some weird update.
Oh.
I've been,
Oh,
like
lovely.
like the only thing that I did was change it whenever you guys said it was echoing and then turn
Yeah.
down the volume.
Right.
That's it.
And that's all I've done. I literally have touched nothing.
Seriously.
Wait. When Welsh Lady came on board,
Yeah.
I'm just
she loaded a
saying.
virus.
I'm just
She
saying.
loaded a virus.
Sorry.
What it is.
They
Yep.
gave you a virus. Did you hear my bum talk though? Because
Yes,
that's
I
most
heard all about
important.
your. I heard all about it. I said that I told Welsh Lady to send me pictures or it didn't happen.
It's the double crack virus.
I know.
Yes.
Got to watch out for those Scottish. They screw everything.
You do.
Hey. Hey. I don't know.
Cross the pond and find you, Yama.
See, were we on? Oh wait, no, that's chapter 2.
Yeah, we're on chapter 2.
Chapter 2.
Yeah, chapter 2. He's going to be. Yeah, because I was like, wait a second, how did that happen? Okay.
4 hours later.
4 hours later. Jeez Louise.
Hmm.
I thought I had everything good to go, but needless to say,
Hey, we never know what's
No,
going
it
to happen.
happens.
Dude.
yeah,
Yeah.
Welcome to Sunday Spice, ladies and gentlemen, where anything can happen.
yeah,
Get all
And usually
excited
does.
and get it up, and then it just goes away.
Well,
Sounds like a personal problem.
it does sound. There's medicine for that. Or tools, even. Implantable devices.
If it lasts for more than 4 hours, consult a nurse.
If it lasts for more than 4 hours, let the air out.
Ew, 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 ew.
Well, Welsh Lady, you came in just in time, and I'm sorry about that. I just never hit send whenever I sent it to you. I was like,
It's okay, darling. I said too. If you didn't need me for tonight, that was fine. But I was ready. I was you.
no,
I'm sat on a donut pillow. I'm all right.
Don't
I
worry,
saw you.
Shizzy. Expert does the same thing. It's fine.
Sorry. But you're up if you want to read.
Oh, am I?
It's your turn.
Of course
If
I
you
do.
want to, yeah.
Oh, it's an honor. It's an honor to read. I'm just going to take a sip.
Yeah, no problem. That's right. That's right. Work it down.
Water from Brecon Mountains. Everybody, just to let you know, okay? Of Brecon Mountain. Okay. Finn rose from the black abyss. He was in as memories of being chased, and then shot slowly came to him. His wolf had taken over. When he excuse me, I need to dim my lights. I am so sorry, Teresa, I butchered it already. Let me start again. Finn rose from the black abyss he was in as memories of being chased and then shot slowly came to him. His wolf had taken over when he was injured despite all his efforts not to shift. The men chasing him had wanted his wolf's pelt. He'd been trying to keep the wolf pushed down and safe. But once he was shot, his wolf took over because he would heal better as a wolf than a man. Opening his eyes, memories of being a small Shih Tzu flashed in his head, and he frowned. He'd come awake at one point during the night and found himself wrapped in a small blanket and being held. Confused and disorientated, he struggled, nipping at the female who had been holding him. She quickly put him down and shook a finger at him. No. He'd started barking louder, or as loud as a Shih Tzu could. They had this standoff for almost a good 5 seconds or so before she had chanted a few words and he slipped back into nothingness.
Oops. Sorry.
What's happening
Slowly.
there?
Dude, where's the
I
script?
thought I lost you again, darling. Come back.
Just I can't keep it straight today.
It's all right.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead. You're fine.
Welcome to the improv.
Okay.
I feel somewhat responsible.
Yeah, you screwed everything up, Volstorm. It's all
Yeah,
your
it was
fault.
all fine until you pulled out fucking pudding pops, and then all of a sudden everybody's,
Hey, it's Sunday
You
night.
jinxed it.
That's what the crowd wants.
you're even putting the computer to sleep.
Slowly sitting up, the blankets dropped to his waist, and he instantly broke out in goosebumps at the sudden frosty air hitting his skin. He scrubbed one hand down his face, then held it out to examine it, grateful that he wasn't still a yapping mutt. He felt his side and winced. He hadn't been in his wolf form long enough to completely heal. I know what he feels like. But it felt like the woman who'd rescued him had cleaned his wound and bandaged it. Besides being turned into a Shih Tzu, he remembered the burning of the bullet hitting his body, the force of it knocking him off his feet. He remembered the female with the hair, the colour of leaves that turned red in the fall, dropping to her knees. Ooh,
That's right. Get on your knees.
beside his wolf, and promising that she would take care of him. When his wolf tried to warn her away, she had turned him into a Shih Tzu of all things. Shaking his head, he still couldn't believe that she'd done that, but was thankful he was a man again. Hearing the sound of humming, he turned his head and saw the same woman, her back to him, standing at a sink, her hips swaying back and forth
Yeah.
as if she were dancing to music.
Nice.
Standing, he pulled the blanket around him as dizziness rushed over him. He waited a moment for it to pass before he straightened completely. Finn shook his head. He couldn't remember the last time he'd been dizzy like that. I can, fell on the floor. He couldn't remember the last time he'd been... Sorry, I've just read that bit. Was it being shot or being turned into a little yapping dog? Hello, is it me you're looking for? No, he didn't say that. He said hello.
Me?
It's good. It's just someone else take over that shit. Yeah.
Sure.
Hello.
Hello. He called
Is it
out to her.
me you're looking for? I can see it in your eyes. I can see it in your smile.
Gotta sing that as
Sing, baby.
Cartman.
Oh my god.
Timmy had it in your Well, now that you got me doing the Cartman. Now you got me doing the Cartman and I can't stop. Hey, look at you guys. her hips where they were moving to a beat he couldn't hear. Finn took a moment to simply watch her, his eyes taking in every curve of her body
Oh dear.
as she seemed to be trying to hide underneath an oversized sweatshirt and yoga pants. Yum, yum. One long auburn braid fell down her back almost to her waist, and her feet were bare, like every woman should be. The intoxicating scent of lavender and lemon had his wolf stirring. Oh, yeah. Damn, boy, Finn thought. Oh, my God. You scared the hell out of me.
Oh, that's her, isn't it?
His eyes snapped up from her bare feet, sexy feet, to her face at her squeal of surprise and the sound of glass shattering on the wood floor. Because I'm going to make her clean that up too. I'm so sorry I startled you. She took a step towards him and he held up a hand. Careful, the cup broke. So did your water. A slight frown creased on her forehead, and she didn't understand what she had said until she looked down to where he pointed at himself. And he said, "Dang it, it's just cold in here." With a slight wave of her hand, the glass shards knitted themselves back together, and the cup flew back into her hand. Like two girls in a cup. You're a witch. It wasn't a question, but a statement.
Witch, burn her!
Burn the witch. She looked up at the cup and then at him and said, "You are a wolf?"
Touche.
Finn thought. He pulled the blanket tighter around himself as if it would protect him from her magical hands, but he didn't want her to stop. He didn't like witches. He didn't trust them bitches. Having solid proof of what they were capable of was a bit disconcerting, especially when at her first opportunity, that bitch turned me into a dog. Bitch for a bitch. How you feeling? She set the cup on the counter behind her, but didn't make a move to come near him. Flynn looked down at the blanket, then back at her. It's just cold. It's just cold. I'm telling you, it's just cold. I'm normally not this small. Her eyes moved down his blanket-clad body and then back up to his face. She was blinking a few times because she said, "Of course, you're cold. It's so small." Pushing away from the counter, she hurried past him, carefully not to touch him. Unfortunately, that probably would have got him not so cold. He followed her, his eyes fixating on the sway of her hips, and he wasn't feeling cold again.
Yeah,
He felt a little flutter in his chest as his wolf stirred, and he loosened the sheet a little because it was cutting off blood circulation.
Popping a
She
cat.
seemed to be the nervous kind that didn't need to see the effect her body was having on him. Of course. Woman was shaking it. Hey, baby, come over here. Daddy got something for you. We
Sway them
gonna
hips.
sway them hips, sway them hips. We're gonna show you what Daddy can do. I grabbed your clothes, and that's not all she grabbed when I brought you here. But they tore up when you shifted, so I had to repair them. That's right. Fix my clothes, woman. She opened the door. She walked through it, leaving Finn standing there staring after her, peeking around the corner. Them swaying hips, she just waved him over. "It's just my bedroom. Your clothes are in here. Have a master bath with a shower to die for." That's right, woman.
Hang on just a second. Hold on. Teresa said, "Shizzy, you get to beta read all my books so you can add all the stuff in the next time."
Beta.
Why are you?
Following has been closed captioned for the reality impaired.
What do you get?
Oh, we're past that.
He moved towards the door and she disappeared again and looked in. The scent of lavender and lemon was wafting over him. Is it wafting or wafting?
Wafting.
I don't know, but it was smelling good. His steps were tentative as she stepped across the threshold, still uncertain if she would cast some kind of spell on him or turn him into something else. Looking around the room, he was surprised it wasn't all that frills and girly, but sort of like where a place that he might want to spend the night warming her up. There was a fire going in the fireplace and a queen-size bed because that little double bed wasn't going to hold his body still. With a frame carved from wooden sitting up across the opposite wall, his clothes and boots lay on the bed. The bathroom is here. She looked up and saw the door she pointed at and nodded. I'll get some coffee and some breakfast going while you're in the shower. Then we can talk.
Thank you.
Of course. She started to leave when he stopped her. Do you have a phone? The woman turned back and nodded. I have a cell phone, but it doesn't get any calls because nobody loves me. You're welcome to try, but sometimes the service is sketchy. She nodded, her shoulders drooping. She gave him a soft smile before hurrying from the bedroom because she was getting wet and the shower hadn't even started. Then closing the door softly but firmly behind her, Finn glanced back at the door and let the blanket fall before stepping in the bathroom. And just as he turned around, she was looking through the peephole. Woman, why are you looking at my butt?
While this isn't quite Cartman, I swear I know this guy.
Yeah,
I
Red
swear
Fox.
I've met this guy before.
Red Fox.
Red Fox.
I don't know how it turned into Red Fox all of a sudden, but it did.
It's incredible.
Daisy, get out of here. What are you doing?
Lamont, you idiot.
Big dummy.
Dummy.
You big dummy.
You big dummy.
Oh,
All right.
my God.
Your turn. Whew. Oh, I already
How do you
said
follow
that.
that act?
I guess I'll finish that right there.
It was small. That's right, because it was cold with just a shower and a sink. Every free service seemed to be covered in various kinds of girly things, shampoos, conditioners, and lotions, and play toys, and all that kind of stuff. He picked up a bottle of shampoo and he sniffed it. No, she didn't smell like this one. Maybe the lavender lemon was her own natural scent. If that thing smells like lemon and lavender, you don't want to be putting it in there. Turning on the shower, he stepped under the hot water. Closing the glass door behind him, picking up a bar of soap, he sniffed it. Lemon. That solved the mystery.
What happened to Wash Lady? Is she okay?
She popped off. You offended her with the
Good job.
lemon
Good job,
and
Shizzy.
lavender comment,
Nice
Shizzy.
job. Yeah.
Way to go. You know?
That's me.
You know,
She's like, it smells like lemon and lavender, and I
it
feel
does. It smells like it smells like watermelon.
I am
okay?
offended. Click.
Yep. Done. Other people
Oh.
want to be pineapple, and there she is, lemon and lavender, and you hurt her feelings. Way to go.
lemon and lavender. That's what we get after.
Ebony and ivory.
Let Yamaha
I
read.
put in the
We
bottle.
stick
but At least that's what it smells like.
Go on. What are you sticking in the bottle? Or where are you sticking the bottle?
Yeah, that's
You don't want to be. You don't want me to be a guest taking a shower, and you're. I have a tendency to leave a little bit of me behind.
we took all the cleanliness out of the shower stall.
But at least
why
it
is this
smells good.
conditioner
I hope
so,
you brought your own stuff, okay?
so heavy this time? What is wrong with this?
What's that smell? Is that crayon?
I thought I just washed my hair. Why is it sticking? Like it's did he put that kind of, what do you call that?
Moisturizer.
Mousse?
Moisturizer.
He put some mousse in there.
Something about Mary.
Yeah.
There you go.
Hair gel.
Beer gel. Is that what you called it?
No, hair gel.
Oh, you said beer gel. I was just
No,
like,
no.
Your gel. Oh God.
Don't
Well,
drool.
Not
Don't
that
drool.
the show was
Diva.
ever on the rails to begin with, but we have
Come on,
gone
Yamaha,
way
save
beyond.
us. Save us.
Well, I'm trying.
Okay, sorry.
All right. In no time at all, he'd shampooed his hair and used the soap to wash. After rinsing off, he lingered under the hot stream, trying to get the stick, and let the pounding water soothe his aching muscles. His mind started racing as he wondered where he was. The last place he remembered being was in Durango, Colorado, traveling back to his pack. He'd been tracking the same poachers that had shot him, and their trail had ended in Durango. He'd spent days asking around and following them until he knew their routine. After an evening of drinking and playing pool at a local dive bar, the two had stumbled to their motel where he was waiting, and he followed them inside.
Sound like he went to a gay bar.
Threesome.
Went to the Blue Oyster Club.
He found out, excuse me, he'd found out too late they were as drunk as they appeared, and they managed to get a jump on him instead. Wait a minute. They weren't as drunk as they appeared, and they managed to get a jump on him instead.
Oh.
One minute he was trying to fight them off, and the next he was waking up in the bed of a truck with a cap on it. He was trussed up like a Thanksgiving turkey, being bounced around and bruised by what he assumed were back roads they were driving along. Neither had been Boy Scouts because it hadn't taken Finn very long to get himself untied. Once free, he moved closer to the front of the truck to see if he could hear what they were saying. Hearing the words pelt and bounty, he sprang into action, working on escaping before they reached wherever it was they were taking him. Finn kicked out the back window of the camper shell and jumped out, doing a tuck and roll as he landed on the country road. Got to his feet and started running. Unfortunately, the two had heard him. Stopping the truck, they started chasing him, firing at him when they could, but they had missed at first. The trees and forest he was running through reminded him a lot of his pack land, so he figured they weren't too far away from his home. It wasn't overly thick, which should have made it easier running easier, but there were stumps and rocks scattered throughout, and he'd caught his foot, almost falling several times. His lungs burned, and his head hurt from the exertion and whatever the men had used to knock him out. Bill. Whatever they had done to him had made him nauseous and dizzy.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But he'd kept running. The Rohypnol still had its effects. You want me to keep going?
Yeah, if you want.
When he'd burst through the meadow, his wolf had wanted to shift. Maybe he should have let him.
Now.
Is that what it is?
Kind shifted over a little bit there to the left. He had
Which
more
side do you
speed
dress
as a
to,
wolf.
sir?
Yeah, but he'd been too afraid they'd catch him. It hadn't mattered. At least that's what he thought then. When one shot finally hit its mark. Stumbling at first, the impact lifted him off his feet slightly, and he'd fallen to the ground and shifted anyway. Finn reluctantly stepped from the shower. His hostess had been right. She had a shower to die for, with great pressure and a massaged shower head.
What did she use that thing for? I know she's using that thing for.
Finn only got out because the water turned cold. He dried off, then wrapped the towel around his waist before stepping into her bedroom. Walking to the bed where his jeans and shirt were laying intact, he let the towel drop so he could get dressed. He went to the room's full-length mirror and started putting on lipstick and
Put
and
some
tucking
lotion
it.
on the
Yeah.
skin.
It's going
do
to
me.
kill us.
And turned so he could see where the bullet hit him. He pulled off the bandage she'd put on and examined the wound. It was healing nicely, but he still needed to shift to his wolf and let his body heal the rest of the way. He was thankful that she had found him before those poachers. If she hadn't, he would be dead.
Ooh.
Dear.
Go ahead and finish out the chapter. That's
Yeah, might as well.
Pulling on his jeans, he lifted the T-shirt he'd been wearing and admired the witch's handiwork. He'd seen her repair the cup that had broken, but he couldn't even tell that the shirt had been torn, and he knew it had been when he shifted. He had to admit that she had taken good care of him last night. I'm sure she did. The smell of bacon and fresh brewed coffee wafted into the bedroom, and his stomach growled. He hadn't eaten breakfast. He hadn't eaten since breakfast yesterday, and he loved bacon.
Oh, yeah. Who doesn't?
Bless her.
Bacon.
He thought as he finished dressing, slipped on his boots, and headed back out to the kitchen.
Didn't he put on his jeans and shirt? Jeez.
Yeah,
Come on, dude.
apparently,
I just
you
going to
know?
put on his boots and walk out there. How the hell how you doing?
That's all you need. That's all you need.
I'm here. I smelled bacon. You want to hold my hog?
I got some extra sausage. It's my
And eggs. We call them huevos. Huevos rancheros.
Oh my god. Well, all right. Here we are.
Oh, this is perfect for you, Kaiser. Yes. Yes.
Yes!
Claire leaned against the bedroom door and put a hand on her chest, hoping to stop her heart from beating so fast. Holy moly, this man was gorgeous and muscled and gorgeous. Did she say gorgeous? Elmo was really not liking this one. Okay. Alrighty. Hearing a shower come on, she took a moment to wonder what he looked like without the blanket, and probably the size of his junk. Good lord. His chest was broad, his arms were well muscled, the rest of him were the same. Oh boy. She knew the roof shifters were very strong. Oh, very strong indeed. So odds were, he was. She let out a breath and pushed away from the door, fanning herself. Fanning herself. If she didn't stop the trainer thought she'd get nothing done, and she promised breakfast and coffee. Yeah, you better get that meat, bitch.
Elmo after dark.
Elmo after dark.
She pulled eggs, probably hers, and bacon from the fridge before going in search for coffee, and prayed she'd actually had some coffee. Staring up at the coffee canister on the counter, she chewed her lip because she wasn't quite sure how to make coffee. What the fuck is this? She doesn't know how to make coffee. Jesus Christ. Put the beans in the fucking water.
Put the beans in the water and you stir 'em.
Well, it's a good thing she's
Beans in the
hot
water,
because
you
she
throw it
ain't
out the frickin'
smart.
door because coffee's gross. Her father had bought the coffee maker and coffee when it helped her move because he drank it. She only drank tea. Yeah, colonialist. The decaffeinated tea at that. Looking at the back of the can, she read the directions quickly before starting her first pot of coffee ever, hoping it would not be too strong or weak for him. Yeah, you're gonna make some strong coffee for that strong man. I bet he takes it like he takes his men, hot and black.
Oh my God.
By the time the shower turned
I went to
off, the
take a
coffee
drink
was
and coffee almost shot out of my nose.
I bet.
Holy shit.
You dirty little bastard.
Yeah. I like Elmo after dark.
Oh yeah.
He's funny.
This hairy red piece
What
of
you
meat.
don't see in the dark alleys of Sesame Street.
Watch out, Big Bird. There's a new one in town.
Talk about snuffleupagus. Oh my.
I think we broke Kaiser.
You did great, Kaiser.
Excuse me, I'm having to.
He's a broke
I just
himself.
need to.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
What's up, traveling fools?
Oh yay, hey.
Yikes.
What's up, brother?
Yo, yo, yo.
You have no idea what you're into watching this.
Well, let's just give him a taste of that, shall we?
By the time the shower turned off, the coffee was brewed and she was frying bacon. Oh, yeah. Now she could do. She loved bacon and would.
What?
She loved the
loved
pork.
bacon,
Cut it in the morning, noon, and. Or eat it. Okay, for God's sake, if the way the typeface looked, it looked like eat. Or like
Elmo, read the script.
What the fuck is going on? Anyway.
You guys are-
Jesus. At least if the coffee was terrible, the rest of the breakfast would at least hopefully make up for it. Oh, yeah, you better know that coffee was going to make up for it. Mm-hmm.
Oh, God.
Anyway, so she turned the bacon. Maroon 5 started playing with some musical speakers. She started dancing to moves like Jagger and singing off key along with Adam Levine. Good God. Bitches got terrible taste in music, too. Claire knew she couldn't sing, but she loved Adam Levine and was always trying to sing with him. Ew.
Ew.
Using a fork, she scooped the bacon out of the pan and put it on the plate, grabbed 2 eggs, breaking the shells quick and neat on the edge of the pan. Grabbing the spatula, she turned to get some toast and started and squealed. Finn stood there, his wet black hair slicked back, his eyes focused on her solely. Closing her eyes for a moment, she leaned against the counter.
Yeah, she was probably like, why are you just wearing boots, you psycho?
Right.
She was looking at his black dog, if you know what I mean.
Y'all naked up in here.
You're naked. So, you are naked.
Oh my! Dangly parts.
God.
I want her to
That's
be
not
southern.
a sausage for the fan.
Hey, she's southern. Well, you know, she
want
is.
what?
She is from the south. You have to. Well,
Oh, she is from
Southwest. Yeah,
Southwest.
Southwest. New
See, I
Mexico.
don't know that accent very well.
New
Anyway.
Mexico.
Yeah, New Mexico.
You want to go ahead and take this over?
Yes, I'll do it.
Oh, Jesus, thank you.
You have got to stop sneaking up on me. Ben grinned and her heart flipped over. If she thought he was gorgeous before, he was sinfully sexy when he smiled. Taking several calming breaths, she tried to slow her Indy 500-like racing heart down. She wasn't used to having anyone in her cabin.
Ooh, I'll get in again.
Cabin's a little concrete and dusty.
Yeah.
Well, dust some cobwebs off and you just do it, right?
God.
Oh, am I
It's
going
so
to do the
lonely.
nod like at this girl?
So lonely.
So lonely. Inner cabin.
Let alone someone whose thoughts she couldn't hear. Frowned slightly. She had forgotten that she hadn't been able to hear his thoughts in the meadow. It was disconcerting, even though she had been searching for someone she wouldn't have to shield from. I didn't mean to startle you. Are you usually this jumpy? Claire just looked at him a moment, her gaze drawn to the t-shirt he was wearing stretched across his broad chest, and the sleeves showed off the muscles in his arms. She had to remind herself to blink so she wouldn't seem like she was staring when, in answer to his question, no, she wasn't normally this jumpy. This was because she could hear what others were thinking and knew they were approaching before they even walked into a room. No, not usually, but I live alone. I'm not used to having someone here. Have a
I
seat.
can't pay for my pizza, Mr. Pizza Man.
You got any
Maybe we can come to some
coupons?
other arrangement.
I ordered double sausage.
Oh, I got your extra sausage.
The bacon is done, and I think I've overcooked the eggs, but
Our eggs are overcooked. All right.
my eggs are overcooked. But I'll fix you more. There is coffee, but I'm not vouching for how good it is.
Mm.
Claire went to the fridge and took out 2 more eggs, then snatched the coffee pot. Stepping to the table, she filled his coffee to the brim, then looked at it. You might want some milk or cream.
Oh, I bet it does.
It looks strong.
I don't know. I'm already spent from the shampoo bottle.
Finn picked up the cup and took a drink, barely able to hide his grimace. That's some strong-ass coffee, bitch, before he set the cup back down. Well, that'll put hair on his chest.
No, you got to say it like Volstorm would.
Ah.
That's some strong ass coffee, bitch. That'll put hair in your chest.
You don't need any help with that. Claire chuckled, turning back to fry the eggs.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Looking at him over her shoulder. Her cheeks turned as pink as she gave him a timid smile. Sorry, Wolf.
Is she wearing pants also, or
Not anymore.
Pants? No.
I don't know. There's something about no
I hope
pants.
so. Cooking bacon naked sucks.
Hurts. Might be that might be why her cheeks are turning pink.
Put a shirt on at least.
Okay, I'm done.
No, keep going. At least finish the page.
Shit.
Okay.
Oh, he's in there cooking bacon again.
Breaking the shells, she let the eggs slide into the pan before stepping over to the counter and pulling out. No, wait.
Don't pull out. Keep it in.
Putting 2 pieces of bread in the toaster. She could feel Finn's eyes on her and tried not to act like he made her nervous. Of course, he made her nervous, but he didn't need to know that.
Only in a good way.
God, I'm excited to read now.
I was gonna say the only eggs frying in this scene are hers. Good lord.
Them eggs is hot.
Oh, yeah.
They're jumping out of the pan.
She's like, "Can you scramble my eggs?"
I got some eggs for you, big boy.
Teresa, once again, I apologize.
No, you don't.
Shh. Hush. She's watching.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
She had been in that cabin for 6 months, and he was the only person, other than her father, who had been inside it.
What?
Glancing out the window, she noted how the snow was coming down in large, wet flakes and let out a slow breath. It looked like they would be stuck with each other for at least a day or so. When it stopped snowing, she would start clearing things off. But right now, they would need to make the best of things.
By the way, I'm Finn. Finn O'Reilly. I thought it would be good to know each other's names, since by the looks of that storm, we might be stuck here together for a day or so.
No shit. Claire brought the frying pan over to the table and slid the eggs onto Finn's plate. Oh, I'm sure
I guess that's a way of getting his attention.
Here, I have my eggs.
Want to leave no questions. Followed by the bacon. She glanced out of the window once more, then back to Finn. It's nice to meet you, Finn. I'm Claire. Don't know where that came from. Running back to the counter, she grabbed the toast as it popped up, buttered up, and then brought the slices back to the table. With a smile, she slid the overcooked eggs onto her plate and then sat across from Finn.
Thank you for helping me yesterday, Claire. You saved my life.
Claire shifted in her chair uncomfortably.
Well, you almost hit me for my effort.
She glanced up to see his grin, and she smiled back.
Sorry I turned you into a Shih Tzu.
A Shih Tzu? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You really were growling and snapped at me, and I didn't know how else to get you back to my cabin.
Yeah.
I'm sure you did.
Do you just bring any sort of stray wolf back to your cabin?
Turn me into a
That would
Shih
have been a
Tzu.
perfect Bill
I should
voice.
do Shih Tzu.
Oh, God.
I'm
Say,
sorry
this sounds
about
like
the
this sounds like a-
rohypnol. That's the only way I could get
I'm
you back
sorry
to my
about
cabin.
the pudding pop.
This lady
Tilton.
bringing back stray dogs to her cabin in the woods. Where's
Uh-huh.
Drex when you need him?
Oh, jeez. Tilting her head slightly, she pinned him with a look.
Why were those men shooting at you?
She had heard the thoughts the men had about killing him for his pelt, but she didn't tell him that. Now, outside the family and a few close friends, she knew she was telepathic, and she wanted to keep it that way. Finn set his fork down and rubbed his eyes. A weariness seemed to settle onto his shoulders.
You don't have to tell me. I'm just trying to figure out if you're a danger to me or not.
He chuckled, shaking his head. Oops. These characters. Oops.
A little late for that, isn't it? You're already stuck with me.
Claire gave him a sheepish smile.
True, but I'm confident I could turn you back into a Shih Tzu before you could even get close enough to me to be a threat.
Finn threw his head back and laughed, nodding as he picked his fork back up.
I have no doubt about that.
Shoveling some eggs into his mouth, he took a sip of coffee, trying to mask the grimace from its bitterness before he spoke again.
Why Shih Tzu?
That's a good question. That's a good question.
It's your favorite dog.
Her smile widened as she shrugged.
I used to be a volunteer at the dog rescue when I was younger. One time, the most adorable little Shih Tzu came in, and I wanted to take him home so bad, but my parents wouldn't let me. I never forgotten him.
So I turn people into him.
Well, do me a favor, please. Can you turn me into a German Shepherd or something last time? I have a reputation to maintain.
Claire laughed and shook her head.
Sorry, no promises.
Finn chuckled, then finished his eggs. When they were both done, she stood and cleared the table, putting the dishes in the sink before turning around and catching him once again, staring at her, leaning against the counter. She crossed her arms in front of her.
No, really, why were those men chasing you?
All humor left Finn as he looked at her, leaning back in his chair. He crossed his arms, seeming to study her, every inch of her body from her toes to her head, until she felt heat slowly crawling up her body. Slowly turning away from him, she startled, putting water and dish soap in the sink. All right, Wesley.
I thought it was the dishwater that was going up her back. I kind of
Part just killed me. Why Shih Tzu?
It's overflowing.
My eggs
dear.
burned. My
That'd
eggs.
be me.
Oh, wow.
She really needed an answer to her question. She really needs him to answer her question. Not being able to hear him in her head was really throwing her, making her fidgety and uncertain. It took all her willpower not to blurt out what she'd heard, but she had learned long time ago that people didn't like the fact she could read their minds or the minds of others. Oh, she can read his mind. Yes, I bet that's a dirty one. So. Still, she knew if she was going to trust him, he needed to come clean with her.
Right, clean it off.
There was another reason she needed the answer to a question. Although her psychic abilities weren't as advanced as her older sister Beth's, she sensed something was coming. We usually do. Something life-altering. And from the feel of it, dangerous.
He's going to have a litter of puppies.
Woof.
Finn watched Clay closely as she turned around and crossed her arms. The fierce determination in her eyes and the firm set of her full, kissable lips had both man and wolf stirring. For the first time, he really looked her over. That was just the first time, was it, Bat? Yeah, correct. The first time. He'd seen her from behind dancing, and the sway of her hips had him wishing for things he knew he couldn't ask for. But for now, all fired up and determined to get him to talk, she was positively stunning. He looked down at the coffee he had stopped drinking, then back up to her. The men were poachers. They work for a man named James Corbin. He pays them to hunt shifters, wounding them to get them to shifts, then killing them in their animal form for their pelts. Bears, wolves, badgers, everything you can think of. Clay's eyes widened to the size of UFOs as she moved to the table and sat down across from him. Tell me more about this Corbin guy. His forehead knitted into a frown. Sitting back, he crossed his arms over his chest again, causing his muscles to bulge. I love that word. Sorry, I just do.
Bulges.
Bulge. It's a funny word.
Ooh,
So bulging.
You can make her giggle by just saying bulge.
Bulge.
It's like plums. They make me giggle. Have you heard of him? Clay took a deep breath and nodded. We've had some trouble in my hometown where a friend of mine disappeared. Later it was discovered what happened to him, and Corbin was mentioned, but that was months ago. The sadness in her eyes had Finn's chest tightening. He had the sudden urge to go to her and take her in his arms to offer her comfort. It affected his wolf. It affected his wolf as well.
Woof, woof, baby. Yeah.
That's one way of putting it. He was whimpering, wanting to get to her and comfort her. What the hell was going on? I don't know, man. He didn't trust witches, but somehow in a very short time, hours really, Clay was getting under his skin, and he was definitely stirring his wolf. Finn could relate to her sadness. He'd seen Corbin's cruelty firsthand, twice. He nodded. I understand how you're feeling. He'd taken 2 people from me. Oh, Finn, I'm so sorry. He watched as her sadness for him was replaced with sympathy and a flash of anger. She looked like she would take on Corbin right now if she had the chance. He nodded and stood, walking over to one window, staring out to the swirling snow. If he could just get out of here and get to those 2 poachers, then maybe he could use one of them to get to Corbin. He'd already failed his cousin and his mother, but he could take Corbin out before any more of his poachers got their hands on one more shift of pelt. Keep going.
If you want, or I can take over. It's up to you.
Go on, take over.
His skin jumped when he felt her warm touch on his back and repeated herself.
I'm sorry, friend.
He could feel the heat of her body as she nearly pressed up against him, and he slowly offering him consultation. Turning, he looked down into her eyes, saw the tenderness that had the potential to be his undoing. Oh, she was a strong bitch, all right. He could tell that. Right then, he felt compassion, and it was doing all kinds of things to him. As if it had a mind of its own, he whipped it out and raised his finger, traced the soft skin of her cheek. You don't even know me, Claire. Why are you sorry? Finn watched as she swallowed and choked on it, gave him a soft smile.
Because I know what it's like to lose someone to tragedy like that. My loss was a friend and not a family. But that didn't make it hurt any less. And I hurt so bad.
Finn searched her eyes. They reminded him of deep green leaves on trees surrounding his pack land. Moving his hand to the back of her neck, he pulled her close and dipped his head to kiss her lightly on the lips. She pulled back. He rubbed his thumb across her bottom lip before reluctantly stepping away, turning his back on her and walking to the fireplace where she could look at his glutes. He stared into the flames. What the hell is he doing?
Did he put on a shirt and pants yet?
Yeah, he's been wearing shirt and pants.
Oh, okay. Just wanted to make sure. I figured he was just still in the boots.
Yeah. No, he could be. Just it's more picturesque that way for the ladies.
Okay.
So okay. No, he's not wearing any. He's just in his boots. That's all.
Okay.
That's my preference. Except I'm worried now that he's standing so close to the fireplace that something's going to get burnt.
No, he's just warming it up. It's
cold in here. It's cold in here. If it's cold, it gets small. It's not my fault.
Hey, that's how he trims up. Some people do a Brazilian. He does a smoke out.
Yeah.
Well, the writer did just clarify down here.
All that
Teresa said he's naked through all this, Volstorm.
Yeah, baby.
naked.
What in the hell is he doing? He could hear the way her heart had started racing and her breath hitched when he'd kissed her. Her arousal his nose scent had picked that up. He had mixed with that lavender and lemon scent. I told you it was down there. He recognized it was her soap and something uniquely her. His wolf began pacing with a need to what? Mate? Yes. They didn't know each other, and her saving him was not a reason to get a little bit of pokey-pokey. He needed to get out of this cabin, but how? The sound
Little Al Green playing in the background.
Let's get it on.
There's nothing wrong with me.
One stranger's better than another.
I'll never be untrue.
Oh, yeah. And the sound of dishes and water had him turning to see that Claren had gone back to washing dishes as the woman is supposed to do. Get in there, wash some dishes. Why are you wearing shoes? Get them things off. I'm wearing my boots. That's all I need.
Chick, buy a dishwasher.
Use your hands. It's more effective.
Yes, use your hands.
Palm
It gets
olive.
it very clean. Her posture was stiff, not as stiff as he was. There was definitely no singing or dancing like he'd seen before. Yeah, because, she couldn't get loose right now. She was just holding it in. She was about to drop a few eggs. Sighing, he dropped his head for a moment. She was pissed or hurt or both. She's a woman, so probably all of the above. Walking into the kitchen, he stood behind her. his hands. They were aching to reach out and pull her bra off. What? Oh, no, pull her to him. Sorry. Instead, he put them on her arms and rubbed them, trying to soothe her. I'm sorry, Claire. Look at everything you've done. Jesus, you saved my life, and I'm being a jerk off. Well, I'm sorry. I let my most intimate desires of overriding you and just humping you like a wild animal. My sensibilities just they just forced me to kiss you. Well,
I
Claire,
thought that was written beautifully, by the way.
she relaxed some. Well, but she didn't turn around because she was just about as wet as she could be. Just continued to do the dishes. She didn't even turn on the faucet for this. She just kept washing her.
Gosh. Shizzy.
Well, these plates have a funk to them.
It's okay, Finn. We don't know each other. I shouldn't have gotten so personal.
Finn growled lightly, dropping his hands and grabbing a hold of her buttocks. And Claire looked up from her dishes to peer out into the storm. I'm thinking this might be the last. This might last another day. Then we can dig out my panties and my edible underwear, and I can take you into town.
Edible underwear.
If you need me to.
Is that technically 2 sets of underwear, though?
I guess it would be.
Yeah.
Technically.
Yeah. Well, then he frowned, not liking the sound of her voice, the way she wasn't turning around to look at him. Like, look at me! Look at me! Slowly, he ran out of breath. He went to the chair in front of the fire. He sat down, scratching his groin, looking like a caveman. Watching the flames, he thought about his next move. He'd lost the poacher's trail, had no idea where to start, except to go back to Durango. That was the last place he'd been before they got the jump on him. Suits me for going into a gay bar.
She knows the song.
The Blue Oyster.
Yes. Yes.
Let me see how much I got.
Do you
Oh,
know?
yeah.
Brilliant song.
Yes, it is. All right. Your turn, Yamaha.
Get it, big boy.
Make it hot and steamy, Yamaha.
Come on, Yamaha, let's unite.
Claire came over and took a seat across from Finn, pulling her legs under her as she gazed into the fire. He studied her for a moment until she looked at him. I'm telepathic. He frowned at her declaration. I can hear other people's thoughts loud and clear. It's why I'm here. The voices, the bells, were getting so loud that I couldn't take it anymore. My father helped me move up here from New Mexico because the aliens, so I could have some peace from the thoughts of others. And I lost my tinfoil hat.
They were so loud and dirty. Aliens.
Roswell and all, you know. Leaning forward in the chair, he studied her. Could she hear his thoughts? She smiled and shook her head. I know that it looks all too... well, for some reason, I can't hear your thoughts, Finn. I did, however, hear what those men were thinking. And it's something you don't want to know. And what they wanted. The air left him as he sat back. Well, what did you hear from them? She shrugged. Not a lot that you can use, but they certainly wanted to have some fun. One of them was reminding himself not to damage your wolf's fur because it was worth thousands. Your wolf really is beautiful. Teresa's gonna hate me. One corner of Finn's lips curved up as he nodded. One silver, blue, very rare. I inherited it from my grandfather. So you can't hear me at all. Claire shook her head. Not even a peep. Well, why do you think that is? Why did you tell me? You didn't have to. Wait a minute, I missed something. Oh, there it is. You skipped on me. God damn it, I can't feel all those words. Why do you think that is? Claire shrugged her shoulders and looked over at the flames. They stayed silent for a few minutes before he spoke again. Why did you tell me? You didn't have to, but I can make you talk. If you can't hear my thoughts, then I would have never known. Claire took a deep breath and tore her eyes from the flames. I've been trying for a long time to build my walls, to shut out all the voices and the cobwebs. I was making progress until one day I was out with my friend, Michael, a shifter, and I heard someone. She tapped her temple. In here, all the voices. I tried to bring up my walls and nearly missed hearing that. Someone had us in their sights. I turned to tell Michael that we needed to get out of there when the first bullet hit his shoulder. Finn seemed to jerk in response as he listened to Claire recount her story. She was lucky in that she had survived. He'd been tracking the two poachers who had taken him for a while, and they had left no witnesses alive. Like him, once they had shot him, Claire's friend's wolf had taken over and shifted to heel. His shifting had sealed his fate. Well, I'm sorry, Claire. I don't understand how you feel. I was supposed to be with my cousins the day the poachers got him. But, if they had been, you would be alive. Wait a minute, whatever.
Yeah.
Claire looked at him. Claire, he gets confused. Claire looked at him, and he knew she understood the look in his eyes along with the anguish in his voice. He heard how it had caused her heart to thrum in response to him.
That's not what it was.
You know, Finn, I could help you. He shook his head, frowning. But how, Claire? I don't understand. She took a deep breath, holding his gaze. I told you, I'm telepathic. I can listen to people's thoughts and hear the voices and the bells, and they can help us find the poachers. And being a witch, I'm certain I can magically get them to tell us where this man named Corbin is. And the crazy little Austin will have to wait till later. My wolf shifter is German now. Yeah, he turned into a little wolf. He's a crowd.
Oh my gosh. We're just talking about our favorite
You guys are so bad. Oh, God. Oh, my God.
Oh, no.
I want to hear the Nazis torturing Elmo in one of these.
Hey, this ain't that kind of show, man. This ain't that kind of show.
I want Elmo after dark back again next week.
Poor Elmo.
You will tell me what I wants to know, little puppet man.
I never tell you anything, you stupid crap.
Well, we have ways of making you talk, you know.
Elmo is brought to you today by the letters F and U.
Oh. I wish I was that clever to come up with that one off the jump. Oh my goodness. All right, well, here we are. Chapter 5.
Yes.
Cleared. Here it was, out in the open. And Claire held her breath, waiting for Finn to say something, anything. She would grab onto that, would give her hope that she could save the people she loved. She watched him as he watched her, an epic staring contest during which he watched a range of emotions cross his face before he moved to stand in front of the fireplace. Claire watched his fin as he stood there, looking into the fire. Oh, lots of looking into the fire. Looking into the fires of competition, like I did with the Hulkster back in '94. Yeah. And her heart felt like it was shrinking. Disappointment filled her as her throat tightened, her shoulders slumped, and what she could only think was his denial of her help. Looking away from him, she knew she had a decision to make. He had given her some useful information that she could use to take her dad, and the two of them could find this Corbin on her own. She looked at Finn, taking a deep breath before she spoke.
It's okay, Finn. I understand if you don't want my help. As soon as the snow stops, we can dig ourselves out. I'll drive you to town and help you find our way out of here so you can continue your search.
Finn turned and studied her for a moment, but she didn't know what he was thinking. I think we've established that by now. This was unfamiliar territory. Being
Plot
the first
twist.
time in her life that she wished that she could hear someone's thoughts. He let out a breath, shrugged his shoulders, and he shook his head and turned to her.
It's not that I don't want your help, Claire. In fact, at this point, I need someone's help. But I don't think you understand the risks.
She opened her mouth to protest, wanting to remind him of her friend. But he could not, held up a hand to stop her.
I know you were there when your friend died. I understand what you're feeling. I do. But this is beyond dangerous for both of us. I don't want you to risk your life for me.
I wouldn't be risking my life for you. I'd be risking my life for my friends, my family, and everyone I love. I can't always be an active participant with my family or friends because of my telepathy issues. The voices just get to be too much for me, even when my family helps me block things out. This is how I can finally help them.
Her voice was thick with emotion as she thought of the people she loved and how much she missed them. Her declaration to him was a surprise even to herself. Yes, she had always felt left out of everything because she couldn't be around too many people for any length of time. She got blinding headaches, became nauseous, and unable to take in all the voices barraging her at once. As a little girl, drawn from everyone except her family and her few friends. She had missed out on so much in her life. Then there was the guilt that consumed her most days. She felt like she had let everyone down after the death of her best friend, Michael. She heard the thoughts of the men who had killed them, but she had been nearly crippled by fear, and he was trying to take care of her instead of the other way around. If she could have warned him sooner.
Sorry, my eyes are drying out in contacts. Sorry.
Did you get you moistened up again?
Performance anxiety.
That's what it is.
My contacts dried out. I'm like, shit.
If she could have warned him sooner. If she could have protected him. If she shook her head. There were just so many ifs in her life.
God.
You're so bad.
Not be able to let it happen again.
If all of us here reading this, he might be having another wolf crush. I couldn't help it.
Claire heard Finn sigh and looked up at him.
Claire,
He shook his head again, as if he couldn't shake what he was thinking, and went in his head, then nodded.
Okay, Claire, you can help me with this dick.
Jeez.
Let's just get to it already, damn it.
Life's long.
Guess what? Diva gets to read the next one.
Echoed around the cabin, and she jumped up from her chair and ripped her legs, her arms around her neck.
Wrapped her legs around his neck. All right. Yeah, now we're getting somewhere.
Freudian slip. His warm
Ride me
laughter
like a pole.
echoed in his chest and vibrated through. Vibrated against hers. Lots of vibrating. Pulling back, her arms still around his neck. She gave him a smile before she leaned in and gave him a quick, grateful kiss on his cheek. Oh, yeah.
I like your sit spin.
Sound like double D batteries to me.
Should I keep going on, or do you want me to go ahead and just call it?
Go ahead, Diva.
Oh, we're getting to the spicy part now. We got to keep it. We got to get
I was going
Randy
to say,
for Randy.
guys are being dry and all, a little whisper in the ear, one little finger. But, yeah, go ahead, wrap your legs around my head. That's fine. That'll work.
We'll just change it from Kaiser to Geyser.
Well, I have been told I have magic hands.
Oh, dear Lord.
The Geyser pineapple is here.
Oh well, I mean, I do work with a lot of barbecue, so all the ladies love my meat. So it is what it is.
Oh, dear.
Oh, dear.
Oh, my.
Claire pulled her head back breathless. Her eyes dropped to his lips. Her tongue darted her mouth out to lick her own.
Oh, I thought she said to lick it. I was just like,
Her
the
eyes
tongue
slowly
darted
moved
to
up
lick it.
to his,
Wow.
find his eating gaze watching her. Suddenly, she became aware how her heart started beating faster, and a soft, warm flush spread over her skin. Ooh. Finn's eyes dropped, and her full lips parted, her breaths coming quicker, and his heart skittered in his inner chest. Her heart. I'm sorry. Again, eyes.
You're getting excited.
Excited.
Kaiser, what's
Somebody
going
get
on?
this guy a bottle of Malort.
Why is your camera moving, Kaiser? It seems like it's
What's
rising.
going on?
Clear hand.
The desk is rising.
With those fingers, babe.
Kaiser's
absolute.
Here, I'll help your eyes out here, Kaiser. I'll take over here.
Good.
Grown up.
Yeah.
Finn's eyes dropped, and her full lips parted.
Mm-hmm.
Her breaths coming quicker, and her heart skipping in her chest,
Not this
feeling like a rock skipping water as she watched, as if in slow motion. Finn's head dropping, his lips finding hers.
Mm.
The kiss was soft, his lips lingering against hers for a moment before he kissed her again. His hands moved up her back, pressing her closer still, molding her curves against his hard body. This kiss was slow and teasing, his tongue sweeping across her lips, asking for entrance. He lifted his head slightly, whispering, "Let me in, Claire."
You see why I don't come on camera?
Wow.
Stuff like that.
God. Because your camera would be shaking like crazy right now.
Yeah, exactly. It's better off to see the avatar.
His plea was a hoarse whisper.
She is into furries.
But he didn't need to ask again as she parted her lips, and his tongue swept inside, brushing against hers. Claire moaned softly as he deepened the kiss, tasting her, stroking his tongue across hers. One hand moved up to cup her neck, and the other pulled her impossibly closer. She could feel every hard muscle of his body as her hands moved across his back in appreciation. There was no fat anywhere, just hard lines and muscles that were twitching under her touch.
I need some water.
Well, that's no fun. Need a
Claire's,
little cushion.
Claire's
Hey, of course.
entire body throbbed, her blood running hot, rushing through her, pooling between her legs.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
There you go.
Oh,
She'd
yeah.
Now
been-
we're getting somewhere.
Little man in the boat going for a swim. Oh, sorry. Did I say that out loud again?
It's like,
Thank you,
sweetheart,
thank
I
myself.
Take a raincoat.
kiss your lips,
Raincoat.
but
Hell,
I
you need a
guarantee.
wetsuit.
Oh my goodness, it's getting choppy out here.
I brought a snorkel.
The waves. The waves.
It's going to sink.
Get your U-boat.
She's undulating. She's undulating. Watch out, boys. She's undulating.
She'd been kissed before. Hell, she wasn't a virgin, but he'd managed to rock her world with just a kiss. She wanted to crawl up his body, then kiss her way down it,
Oh yeah.
running her tongue along every crevice and ridge.
Damn.
Then
I just have to say, Teresa is one of our people.
Yeah, Teresa.
Fuck it. Who needs AI? We'll just have her write our goddamn
Oh,
story.
jeez.
Say,
Let me be
Teresa
honest
needs
for
to
a
stick
second.
around.
We've had to read a lot of AI crap. And this is gold. This is pure
Yeah.
gold for us.
Oh.
this right here is
Busting our asses coming up with stories.
I've got the vapors.
And she's got 5 more books. Sweet,
Yes.
we're set.
We got 5 more books of this to read. Oh my God, we are set for the rest of the year.
we are
Oh my
going to have
Yes,
a
we
good
are.
time.
Yes, we are.
We'll be doing this shit till 2030.
Is that so bad?
I don't know. I don't know if I have enough energy to do it until 2030.
Ben broke the kiss, trailing soft kisses across her cheek and her forehead, then stepped away. Claire slowly opened her eyes, swaying slightly from the kiss, both from panting,
A dog.
trying to calm their breathing. Oh, both of them were panting, trying to calm their breathing. Wow. Claire's voice sounded foreign to her, low and breathy. She ran her tongue over her lips again, tasting his kiss, and heard him groan. Don't do that, Claire. I'm a strong man, but have my weaknesses, and you have suddenly become my weakness.
I know the feeling.
Oh, it's gonna be a good time in the town tonight. Oh, yeah.
Her eyes widened slightly. She pressed her lips together. Putting a little more distance between them, she swallowed,
All of it.
taking long, slow breaths to calm her heart. He watched her, almost unblinking, and she was suddenly nervous at his scrutiny. She rubbed her hands on her jeans, then tucked some stray hair behind her ear, clearing her throat before she spoke.
You.
Exactly.
Put on my clothes.
I'm going to take a shower. The coffee's in the cabinet above the coffee pot if you want a fresh pot. I know mine wasn't very good, but there's also some soda and juice in the fridge. Help yourself.
Don't forget the shampoo bottle.
She knew she was rambling and forced herself to stop. A slight movement caught her eye. She saw his lips twitching just before they broke into a smile. Her heart did that little stammer it seemed to do every time she looked at him, and the fluttering in her stomach was back. But she couldn't help but return his smile. Oh, really? I'm going to take a shower, and then we can talk about a plan, how we'll do all this.
Oh yeah, we know how we're gonna do this.
I know the plan.
Baby, you're just gonna get naked, and I'm gonna run my tongue up and down every little crevice of your body. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna have a good time tonight.
Baby, we don't go.
Let's have
You-
a chat.
We are not going to have to. We are not going to have to worry about none of them there fireplace burning things because I am going to light this son of a buck up right now.
Feeling teed
Just
up
comes out of the,
and
out of the
at the
bedroom.
same
It's like,
time,
Oh, yeah.
a little more relaxed. She left him watching her as she slipped into her bedroom, shutting the door behind her.
To finish some business.
Yeah,
There is
That
a
massaging
massaging
shower
head.
head.
Yep.
yeah, there is. There is that massaging. Woo.
Yeah. there is. And the water's hot now.
There you go, Baltimore.
I'll satisfy it. You now go make me a sandwich.
Hey, how the hell am I supposed to follow that? Jesus.
Just follow it, baby. Right on into
There's
that
only one way to-
bedroom.
One is like,
Wait,
no.
Act.
No,
You gotta
no,
take us
no.
to church there, buddy.
Loogie is gross. Stop it. Octavia is not a turn on. Come on.
Come on.
Take us
I'm
to
not
church,
used to being
Ballstorm.
up that long.
all I
It's
know-
starting to hurt. Hurry up.
You did, Ballstorm.
Listen to me. There's been a whole lot of singing going on tonight, and I'm here to set you right.
Is this what they call priapism yet? I'm gonna have to go in there and get a shot.
She was leaning against the door. She put her hand to her chest. Wowza, that man could kiss. But still it bothered her. Well, of course it bothered her. She was a CNN.
Oh, the guilt!
That she couldn't hear his thoughts. She's trying to interfere, trying to penetrate into his deepest, darkest thoughts is what she was trying to do. Frowning, she pushed away from the door and headed to the bathroom. She shed the sweats. She was making out sweats.
Well, she was wearing sweats, and man, she had the sweats.
I hope they weren't gray because you could see that stuff.
You see the moisture. That's all I'm saying.
You could see the moisture. She had shed the sweat she was wearing and turned on the shower.
Get that shower head going, girl.
Once the steam was billowing out from behind the glass door. I said it was behind the glass door. Open eyes. You could see the fog just draping across it. She stepped into it and closed her eyes, leaning her head forward to let the water fall down her back. It went down her back. It didn't go down her front. It went down the back.
Can I get an amen?
Her body was still humming from their shared kiss of sin. It had been so long since she had been kissed, touched, or well, anything like that.
Yeah.
Just been held the way. You skipped. You went too far. You went too far.
There we go.
Okay.
We're there.
Hell, just being held the way he had held her felt so good.
Get her down, warm her up, throw her in the pool of love.
The shower of Satan is what it is. Love living in the mountains in her cabin, surrounded by the beauty of the Rockies, but she was lonely.
Oh, yeah.
She was.
Get down, warmed up.
To just jump into bed with someone and be a harlot. She missed the touch of another person, the passion, the desire. Her family, while affectionate, her family was
What?
very affectionate.
What?
Why did you
What
throw
are we
that
doing
in
about
there?
That's weird.
Something she craved. Oh, jeez. Maybe that's why her body tingled. Is she from Alabama by any
I
chance?
swear to God, she must have been hanging out with MG right there because he's saying it went down her neck, down her back, it's everywhere.
Down her crack. Maybe that's why her body is still tingled where he had touched her or where his hand had grasped her neck. Yes, that's how
Throttle me with your love.
to be. She washed her hair, then grabbed the lemon soap and moved it all over her sin to try to wash all that sinning off.
I'm choking on Jesus.
Her sister her and had made it for her, giving her a case of it before she had moved. She had to let Eva know too that she's gonna need more. She gonna run out after this shower. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
She'll be scrubbing that thing.
She had closed her eyes, got her hands all soaked up, and then moved slowly over her body,
Oh yeah.
on her shoulders,
Get it.
over her breasts.
Yes.
Yes.
She had imagined it was Finn's fingers circling her heart and nipples,
Yes.
Oh.
running her hands down and over her stomach. She wanted it to be his fingers, brushing through her red curly mound,
Yeah.
slipping past her wet, swollen folds. On him.
Yes. Oh, release the demons.
Get it, girl.
Running past her folds and dipping into her heat as he kissed her. Her fingers found the swollen blood as she pressed and rubbed, her lips parting in a soft moan.
Oh, amen.
His fingers bringing her close, sending tiny little jolts of pleasure throughout her. Then tiny little jolts of pleasure. Sin, woman, they are sin.
Oh, free that little man in the boat.
That little man in the boat is drowning.
Oh, help that man.
He is drowning.
Jesus, save him.
Just like Jonah in the whale, he is drowning.
Oh,
Get him out of there. Get him out. Save him.
Leaning back against the tiled wall, Claire grasped softly as she pressed to get her clit harder, running faster.
Faster. Harder.
Fingers on her hard nipples again, suckling and pinching them as she slowly teetered on the brink of an orgasm.
Save us, Jesus, save us, save us.
It's hard work saving a little man.
Finally, she moaned softly as she went over the edge, her whole body shuddering with her release.
Yes.
Claire opened her eyes and straightened. Yes, she did. She opened them eyes and she straightened up. She should have gotten to one of her toys on the nightstand, damn it. What was she doing?
I have been washed anew.
You scrubbed it clean. Woo.
Sprinkle me with your love.
The little sin. He cannot be demonetized. I'm a preacher.
In the love
That's
of
right, you're
man.
terrible. You're a preacher.
She was fantasizing about a man she didn't even know. She was breaking one of the commandments, y'all. This is an example. Touching her, bringing her to the naughtiest of pleasures, shaking her head and taking several deep breaths to calm herself. She finished her shower and stepped out. Swiping a hand over the fogged up mirror, she stared at her reflection, biting her lip for a moment until her mouth spread into a wide smile. Of sin.
Smile.
Why,
She's happy.
why shouldn't she fantasize about Finn touching her? Because it's a sin.
That's
Hell, why not see if she could get the man to do more than just touch her? She wouldn't have to worry about hearing his thoughts because she couldn't and didn't want to. She wouldn't have to be afraid that she'd someday hear some derogatory remark or hear his mind wander in the middle of it all. Oh, they had to make a plan, all right. They had to make a plan.
What they have to do?
To make.
Yep.
The snow should stop by tomorrow night. Of course, at this point, why would you want the snow to stop?
Melting the snow around
So
that
they
house.
would dig themselves out and leave, but that gave her almost 2 full days to see what she could do. Can I get an amen?
Amen. I'm glad you were reading that, not me. Can you imagine?
You set me up. You totally set me up for that.
We need to.
You're welcome.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's why I like our
You
Sunday
did that.
services.
Yes. Now go wash yourselves clean.
Whoa. Maybe take a
Demons have
shower
been
or
released.
whatever you gotta do.
Oh
And
my
over
God.
and over
Boy.
Amen.
All the demons are out.
All the I feel like her demons have been released at this
I have
point.
been released.
I don't know. Hold on. Now I'm wanting to reach down and touch my nipples.
Brother Shizzy, show your hands so you can pass around the offering plate.
Hand check. Diva.
To show their hands as well.
Oh, I'm getting a little feel of I have a story over here.
You two, what you
It smells so good. Oh, wait, what? What? Stop it! Stop it! What are you doing?
So unaware, so unaffected.
Oh my
Bring
God.
out the snakes,
dear.
master. Bring out the snakes.
Oh, that's going to be next week.
I think I made some demons just listening.
Watch out for the pink rattlers. They spit.
They don't swallow, they spit.
Especially when they're
Turn the
hooded.
pews and go hiss, hiss.
Yeah, watch out for the hooded rattlers.
I'm gonna
Yeah, the
bite
pink
you.
rattlers. I'm telling you. Don't get that in your eye. It'll make you go blind.
That goosebump says they look like a turkey neck.
Well, that's a first for Sunday Spice. That's all I got to say.
Screw AI.
That's my kind of
Yeah, the hell with that shit. We're done. We're
This is what, hey, Shizzy, this is what we've been trying to get AI to do
Teresa,
for months
yeah.
now.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
Ah,
Teresa has a talent.
yes, she
Yes.
does.
Teresa.
Really does.
Teresa, you just keep
good
sending me
job.
those books and I'll
That's
keep
right.
reading them.
Shizzy, do you write into, Teresa, do you write into the Penthouse Forum? I'm just curious.
Yeah.
What do you mean? She is the Penthouse Forum.
No shit.
Damn, girl. Cindy's like, I'm smoking one round.
Last Sunday, I was stuck in the snow.
Oh, yeah.
But I wasn't stuck.
I wasn't alone.
Now, everybody, make sure you spread this around. Let them know that we're doing this on Sunday nights. And this is this is the place to be.
This is what we doing, folks. So you better tune in.
Mhm.
Yeah. I
Yep.
can only, if that was chapter 5, what are the next chapters going to be like?
Amen.
Oh,
We're gonna have to stock up on some water and Tang. Get those electrolytes up there.
Make sure you guys like and
B12.
subscribe to everyone. I'll have everyone's names in the chat. I'll have their links set up so you can go and subscribe to them. Everyone, have a wonderful evening. We will see you next Sunday. But if you're wanting to, go check
Thank you,
out tomorrow
everyone.
night or tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning I'll be on tomorrow morning, but tomorrow night I'll have Volstorm, Expert. Gonna have MG Law is going to be insane. Is something. I guess that's the best thing.
It's not going to be this graphic.
Something.
It'll probably be worse.
I don't know.
Yeah, it might be worse.
Might be worse.
So gather round, let the stories begin. In the realm of Sunday Spice, where joy always wins with Shizzywhiznut leading the way. We'll laugh and we'll smile for night and day. Sunday Spice, the show of delight, written by AI and all the voices that ignite. From dictionary defect to Kaiser pineapples bite. Each guest brings the magic for just one night.
Why are you gay?